I'll go. Come on, buddy. I'll go. I'll go. Come here. Ford employee pricing is back.
It's the highlight of the summer.
When you get my price on this F-150,
what's not to love? Ford employee pricing, you pay what we pay.
Boy, mixture of depths. This is a pretty cool Google paper that came out back in, I want to say April or so. Yeah, April. They're taking the mixture of experts idea and the early exiting depths idea, kind of combining them, getting some crazy good performance / efficiency improvements that seem to have a lot of potential for different ways to play around with them and make very interesting models into the future. Very excited for this one. Before we get started, like, subscribe, comment, all the YouTube things, hit the bell. If you support me financially, you can hit that join button down below, or hit my Patreon link as well down below. Options are $1, $3, $5, and $10 per month. Thank you to those who are already doing so. I very much appreciate it. You can schedule a consultation with me. Also, link in my link tree to like a Zoom type hour-long meeting paid if you want to remember about something. And other than that, disclaimer, of course, disclaimer, pause, read if you'd like to, but yeah, let's get to it. We are getting right into their main results here. On the one hand, you can train a mixture of depths transformer that improves on the vanilla ones by as much as 1.5% on the final log chance training objective for equivalent training flops, aka ISO flop, right? And while taking an equivalent amount of wall clock time to train. So they're saying just full-on match it in terms of computes, and we can get better performance if we use mixture of depths. But on the other hand, if you wanted to instead, you can train a MOD transformer that achieves the exact same loss, but with far less actual consumption of resources, upwards of 50% it seems per forward pass. And I believe they're referring to inference isoflop comparison. So if you want just very efficient models, this is also a good way to do that. It's both you choose. Do you want higher performance or more efficiency, or like perhaps a combination of both? The results seem pretty good, it sounds like. It's going to be the actual method though. So core idea being, we have a router, right? And that router determines if we should even use this layer at all, right? There is an option, you just do a complete skip past the layer entirely. However, when I say skip, it's kind of weird, right? Whereas in a regular MOE, when you have a router, it just determines which expert you go to. Here in MOD, it determines if you actually use that layer at all. And think about this, you're doing this per token, right? So meaning that your actual mixture depth transformer has a smaller total flop footprint, right? Because some tokens just don't go through the entire block, which I believe also means in the self-attention mechanism, you end up with a smaller total attention quadratic matrix, right? Now, when you compare it to early exit-based strategies, right? In early exit, you dynamically decide if you should just end right here and use your final output embedding. Here, the stark purple is a vanilla transformer, just uses every single layer for every single token in the sequence. Early exit, some tokens use every single layer, many tokens leave before then and just output. Whereas what happens in mixture of depths is that a given token in the sequence could just use any layer. They're still in order, but it will just randomly skip a couple, then use, then skip, then use, right, given layers. Now, given that it's skipping entire layers for different tokens, you do end up with fewer flops per forward pass than the transformer, which, as I said, is not only you use it in those layers going through, but let's say we choose half of the actual, you choose the rate of skipping you want to do and how you encourage the router to act, right? So not only are you skipping raw flops going forward, but in terms of RAM, the query times key matmul during self-attention, if you were to do half the layers being skipped, you would end up with a 25% less flop intensive actual query times key matrix, the sequence by sequence at the end tensor, right? So in terms of RAM consumption, you can, in that example of just half tokens being used, being skipped, you end up with a 25% decrease in the RAM consumption of your attention mechanism, which is huge. And I believe later in the paper, they actually do a much smaller capacity, as in far more skipping than just half. But keep in mind, it also means whenever a token is chosen to skip the current layer, that means that token literally is not in the attention mechanism. Like, it cannot be a query itself or be